All right, anyway, nerdy stuff aside, we've got two nerds who are going to be talking about this game. It's Train, Fnatic and Mouse. We're kicking off ESL One Cologne. Who else than Henry G and Sadakist?
Thank you very much, Alex. Yes, better a nerd than a hipster like you. But we are here for game one, and I definitely got him there. He was wearing a fanny pack yesterday. But we're ready for Mousesports Fnatic. I kind of agree. I actually lean toward Mousesports in this. I've been really excited by this roster. They mentioned Rops. Absolutely a story there. But I think Oscar's been another one that absolutely has to be talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Oscar's looking fantastic right now. Chris J seems to have made quite a solid structure here. The in-game leader now, not going to be one traditionally, was the York previous as well, so everyone's having to adjust their roles to work out where this team's going. But right now, it's a really convincing package overall. It's actually looking very promising for them.
Yeah, I'm kind of maintain the point that perhaps in some ways, losing Nico turned out to be a good thing for them in the fact that it's made everyone kind of had to step up in different ways and individually and then play more as a unit. You know, I say individually because everyone's had to do their own part, but they play more as a unit as a result. This is a fast start. So we're already into it on Train. Olaf gets first kill, but taken back by Oscar. Trades favor the offense. It's going to open up some space. Bomb's going to go down, but watch the position at Hell. JW. He's able to get one, but then he falls. So Trade's still favoring Mousesports until Flusha and Dennis step up to take the bomb. That's a problem. Chris J's already in the site. He has to go back for it, and Flusha's going to guard it with all his life.
Very convincing round there from Fnatic, coming down to the 2 versus 1. Chris J unable to get the bomb down as well, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for Mousesports to have to force by here in the second round. Very quick pistol round, I have to say. Normally most T teams actually favouring towards that inside area. We've discussed that in length before, Matt. The fact is you try to get the bomb down, you're almost guaranteed it inside of a couple of trades. Outside, not so much. It's very difficult to get that bomb down. So indeed the force buy comes in here. We're going to have Deagles, Tech9s, and a scout for Chris J. At one point known as the best scout user on the entire planet, so we'll see if he can step up here.
Absolutely. No disputing that. He was by far the best scout player on the entire planet, nearly spots. Fnatic player backing off from the hitch. I believe that was Crims. Olaf's going to go out to watch Ivy instead with the FAMAS.
Well, for now, a little bit of damage inflicted here. We can see Mousesports prodding towards Ivy at the start, falling back for, looks like maybe an inside execution here. Going to be lining up. It's going to be a main push from JW there. Finds the first kill, takes down Dennis. It's always going to be difficult to do anything with these rounds. They go towards inside for reasons I said it before. Try and get the trades, almost guarantee the bomb if you can get one kill here. Going in for the scout. Can't find the first shot. It's going to be Dennis to open things up here. But they do manage to get some sort of traction going in towards this inner area. Bomb will be planted, Matt.
Planted and held. It's Lowell. The M4 picked up. It's going to catch off Flusha. He's now the last alive, however. But Olaf catches him off quite quickly. They'll take the round. It's expensive. Yeah. Obviously trade out the FAMAS for the M4, but it's a bomb plant for Mousesports. Some reasonable investment, so.
Yeah, the thing is that they got maybe 2 more kills here. They could probably justify another force buy. At this point, it's just kind of balancing the books, managing to get a full gun round into the next. So we have got 5k on Oscar as the Yorper as well. That's fantastic. He did not fully invest into this round. So if they wanted to, right, they could force buy Tech9, bring an AWP out as well. But I don't think it's really worth it in this format. It's the best of one, right? So you want to make sure you're just kind of hedging your bets and trying to do what you can in the next gun round here. So this will just be P250s, no armor, no nades. Objective once again, get that bomb down. Maybe it's an inside rush him out. We'll see what they decide to do. Going to be slowing things down as they come towards the top of Pop Dog here. A couple of PT50s to work with. I think the inside's the best bet. Just try and kill that one player who's normally anchoring by himself. What a DB Dennis. Very good at this position. Got Incendiary in his hands right now, just waiting for them. Wants to spot a pixel of a player and then try and delay them. But they've gone towards upper ramp, so we see Incendiary towards lower actually. So now we'll be focusing his attention towards upper. Firepower in his favour, of course. There's the first frag. Should be able to mow them all down there.
Dennis certainly will. Gets 3, and plus the assist on Flusha's kill. Good shot from Dennis. The other Dennis. I love when these two play each other.
Right, yes.
That's back again. But yeah, gets a shot with the P250 at range. But it's Fnatic that gets the 3rd round efficiently as well. They'll get AWP out for Oscar immediately, however, on the T side due to that 2nd round plant.
Well, AWP out for sure. Oscar, we're waiting for him to step up to the plate here, see what he can deliver in the first gun round. Up against JW as well. A lot of people say about Fnatic, with JW's on form, he can find space for his team and manage to actually get the opening frags required. He's going to be going towards outside for now. We'll have a look, and it's going towards Connector, where he actually finds the leg shot, and Flusha finishes off Chris J with the HE grenade as well. So a nice alley-oop conversion there as he enter another advantage for Fnatic in the first gun round.
So bomb intentionally dropped back at T-spawn. They'll grab that. Dennis will be the one to head toward the brown halls, with Oscar having the bomb and his two teammates already ahead, Lowell and Rops. Going directly out upper to spot the long and high entrance to beat, but they do have Dennis, Fnatic Dennis. I'll try and clarify that as much as I can. I know that's confusing.
It is, isn't it? It's the worst possible matchup.
Well, Fnatic Dennis on the ground in B, and he's going to find not only one, but a second onto Lowell as they drop down from the ladder. All four coming in that direction. Flusha is going to scoop up the other Dennis, Mousesports side, as Oscar gets one of the AWP, but Crims has already rotated. Fnatic had way too much information. Yeah,
Fnatic coming out of the trap hot here at the looks of things. It was JW who hit the leg shot on Chris J to open up the round. Good aid Cheese as well to stop the outside rush. Chris J taken down, funneling them back towards inside, and didn't really get much done there whatsoever. Dennis seems to be having a very good game so far. This early anti-eco frags has got him into a nice position here. 8 kills, 2 deaths, 4-0 for Fnatic as well. And we're going to have another partial buy at this point. So maximum loss bonus for Mousesports into the next round, Matt. So Deagles, PT50s, they get one smoke to work with. Going towards Ivy for now. Just going to feel out the map and see who's playing where. But Olofmeister and JW waiting for him. That's an easy shot for JW. No run boost this time. So you're going to be taken down. Plucked out of the air. Oscar, now 5-4. Once again for Fnatic. They're looking incredibly sharp right now. Still very early days. We'll probably see a slower approach, maybe an execution-based play from Mousesports next round. Olofmeister finds another headshot on towards Mousesports. Dennis, of course. Chris J, PT50 flashing out, just trying to get a couple of frags here. There's one. Nice shot from Chris. Every little helps. They will not be winning the round at this point, but doing some damage at least. JW finds another, and Lau, that's a nice shot to take down the Orb.
Deagle trying to do what he can. Lowell. It's 5-0 Fnatic. They continue to go on a rampage. No bomb plant in the last 2. Is that correct? Yeah, the last 3. So lost round bonus is at its all-time high, but not with money going in additionally from the plant. They still have enough for the AWP on Oscar and 5 smokes, which I emphasize on Train is quite important, as we know.
Just to point out as well, Rops yet to frag very early days with 0 and 5. He had the best stats at the major qualifier. Very good performance.
Did he actually had the best stats against Penta? But I know Oscar led the way at 2.06 going into their 3rd game. So did he lead?
I think, well, he was at least very high up in there.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see the final stats because
yeah.
we literally flew here right after.
Sure.
So,
but he played well.
Very well, yeah, absolutely. Can't dispute that. Chris J, good patience. Does he expect 2? Crims pre-fires the angle, gets the trade back. Bit of information out toward A main as well. Keep in mind the bomb was dropped at T-spawn, so they have to go back that direction now. They've lost the one player that was babysitting it. That cost them a little bit more time. Not that there's anything less than 1:20 to work with still, so they can do so. If they're going to play a pick strategy, it will cost them if they find an opening. We know Fnatic's akin to rotations, and speaking of, look at Dennis pushing brown holes. Yeah. They're giving him so much access again. He's going to drop down. They have no idea. He just fires, in fact. He just takes the kill, gets Rops, backs off. Now they're completely caught off. I expect them to go down and get 2, but even still disciplined play. W gets Dennis. Lowell might find something, but 2 versus 3. Bomb still has to be picked up. 50 seconds, and the rotation's coming back around from the B site. Dennis has gone to Z connector. They'll lock off A entirely.
This is looking very good for Fnatic, I have to say. Dennis, an absolute savage there, pushing inside. Bit of a gamble, but it works out for him. He falls back towards the inner area. Going to be playing behind the bomb train. He's trying to buy as much time as he possibly can here. Oscar with the AWP, still within a shot of winning this round. They go towards the lower ramp. Dennis just gets 1. That's going to be it. And he's in a great position to do so as well. The spools normally is a 1 and done, but he could get both here. Doesn't actually get anything. Dinks Oscar, and now Mousesports back in this round.
12 HP for Oscar to work with, but he's on the AWP. He's going to smoke off Z connector. Won't hold them off for long because they've already worked their way inside of the site, which means he goes down immediately to the M4, and it's on to Lowell. Player, I think, has stepped up as well. Spanish side of the Mixwell equation. These 2 players breaking out, but he goes down. Olaf again to get the kill. 6-0 Fnatic. Another bomb plant this time on the lost round bonus, so they should be okay to buy again. But how's Oscar for the AWP?
Should be just enough. Yeah, he's got 6 grand, so he's absolutely fine with the maximum loss bonus and bomb going down as well. Rob's still yet to post a frag here, but Fnatic looking very good indeed. Assertive stuff at the start, moving around, actually pushing main entrance before Mousesports even have a chance to commit to their default. They find the first frag. Sure, Chris J gets it, but the refrag comes in. Then Dennis, as aggro is taken towards that main entrance area, he's pushing inside, taking down Rob to Pop Dog, and just keeping him at bay. That's the main thing. That's their secret weapon, Mousesports, this new boy wonder, and we'll see whether he can get going into this one. A match pause comes in, a chance for the coach just to chime in and say, right, This is going wrong so far. Maybe we just go to the set piece play. Let's get some strategies out there. The defaults, we're getting picked apart. They're pushing us. Maybe just go for the smokes off the bat. Maybe an inside execution or wall of smokes outer and just try and get that plant down. We haven't had many clutch situations so far from Mousesports. Got the bomb down previously, but Olofmeister took them down. It's going to be Dennis on the Fnatic side, I should say, with 10 frags. Dennis for Mousesports only 1 for 6, so quite a disparity there as we enter round number 7.
Yeah, that's a massive disparity. Rops definitely has to get rolling soon. Less smokes this time to work with. Got 3 to play. And Molotov already out toward A main. Rops has gone in through the ladder. He's got aggressive. He's spotted at D-box. This is a problem because he's gone so aggressive. He's essentially alone. His teammates join him now. But if he'd been caught out early, it would have been another situation where he goes down without a kill, completely blind. Dennis, I think, spotted him as well, but he's seen Dennis in return. Now he's on the board. Gets his first. JW takes Dennis back, but they've got a chance to finally get a plant inside of the smoke as Krim sprays through, finds Oscar going back toward the ladder, and Rops gets a second, but drops to Olaf immediately after. 2 versus 2. JW in with 1 out with the other.
Yeah.
And just single digit remaining on either side.
It was looking so good for Mousesports there. All the opening frags and JW finding key kills. We're going to have the flank coming in from the CT though, all the way to connector. I think Chris J doesn't hear him, but he seems to have an inkling. The Lord of Mice coming in. Surely Chris J gets the frag. He does indeed. And that's the first round poster for Mousesports. Only 1 player surviving, but they got it done. A fast set piece towards our side. A couple of smokes towards the bomb train as well. Sticking as a 5-man unit, making sure they're opening frags, trading as much as they possibly could. They get the first 2, I think maybe even 3. But then all of Mice to JW causing some damage there. And this Chris J managing to step up in the clutch and outplay Olofmeister. Big kill, but you can see Galil's going into this round, a lack of utility as well. This is dangerous round for Mousesports here. No warps to work with.
Molotov down toward IB. Chris busting out. Good read against Olaf to clutch the last. Good start to this round by taking down JW. Chris J will fall, though, as Fnatic manages to answer. They always seem to answer. Trades are their specialty on the CT side, and that Mousesports, any opening they get, it's never for free. A reset as well. They've gone to Galil's in this round. They do get a bomb plant out of it, but how much more will they get out of the round is the fact that there's kits. 1 gone, just 1 remaining for Dennis. It's close enough to the site. Crims will still be able to access. And there you go, right beside the train. It on the way through to a defuse, but Krim's gone down. It's just on to Dennis. Good trifecta of doom, as you would say, Henry, set up.
Yeah, it's looking very promising. Dennis shouldn't have a shot within this round whatsoever. Indeed, Lau shuts it down with the Galil. 3 kills for him. This kind of wolf-pack mentality from Mousesports seems to be working very nicely for them. Indeed, fast strategies, get out there, shut them down, and I think they've just about broken the economy of Fnatic as well. So it's still 6-2 in favour of the Swedes, but they're going to have to take a little eco here, maybe the partial buy in terms of getting some deagles out, PT50s. But Mousesports have seemed to have adjusted that tactical time on map. It's got them 2 rounds, so that's great. The coach has spotted a weakness potentially in the Fnatic setup. So we go into round number 9 here. Mousesports starting to get involved now. 1 HE for Flusher. They're going to be pushing inside. Fnatic definitely deadly with pistols. Dennis, one of the best pistol users in the world. He goes first.
Pistol 5-7. We know it's good in those situations where it can just spray and pray. The amount of bullets in each mag, but it's gone down already. Rops, another 2 kills for him, so better late than never. JW is in a great position, and not only does he get a kill on Rops, it gets close enough that the gun flings forward. He's able to pick that up for free in A main and then take advantage of it by getting a headshot on Dennis. Great round so far, and look at his positioning. He's already pushed through Sandwich. He's already going to be behind them. Thankfully, they're going to take the bomb back over toward B because Olaf was pushing in from A main.
Yeah. It's already an uncomfortable round here for Mousesports. Just PT50s and 5-7s. JW with a perfect flank. Gets the AK-47 headshot. And we get into another clutch situation. Advantage definitely for Mousesports, but JW looking to cause more damage here.
Chris's positioning is actually great against Chris, but JW reads the fact that they're going to be aggressive, waiting for the rotations. They bait the shot from Oscar. Gets JW not only closer, but Olaf especially in a better position, because as he's fighting off against JW, Olaf gets closer to the bomb, and they've already solved the riddle. It's going to be now 7 rounds Fnatic, 2 only for Mousesports, and money, I think, is gone again.
It won't be great. They can probably just about squeeze out one buy here. I think they might force this judging. They've got like 5k on 3 players and 2 would be on Tech9, so they'll probably buy into this. But JW, what an absolute brilliant maneuver that was. Coming from the main entrance, they even checked it. He's ready for the pre-fire with the P250, upgrades to the AK-47 as well, and doesn't miss a beat at that point. Hits every AK shot, crouching spray. Great maneuvers as well towards CT spawn. It's a great read. Like you said, they found Olaf Meister, go towards inside. They think that's safe, but JW pre-firing every single angle and managing to have a monstrous performance in round number 9. We do have the buy coming in from Mousesports. Orb comes out with a couple of Tech9s, as I said. AKs to work with as well. Oscar, he has to be the danger man here, and he suddenly is. Takes down the nemesis of the previous round. JW 5 on 4, but there it is once again. Flusher has been on point with these HE grenades, Matt, every single time finding a kill with them.
It's actually true. Keep track of that. I think the record for one player to get the most amount of kills with an HE in a match is 4, and it's held by Alu tied it, and he was 1 HP away from breaking it on overpass, and that was all within like the first 8 rounds, but then he never got one for the rest of the game. He was 1 HP away, but it's held by about 3 or 4 different people. And for some reason, after casting that game with Alu, it's a record I want to see broken, Henry.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm ready.
It's kind of exciting.
It's okay. It's
really
interesting.
Not, but exactly, it's interesting. I mean, considering, you know, Moses was talking about this, seeing how much utility actually gets wasted by people who die and doesn't get utilized. So the fact that a nade can get that much damage done is actually pretty impressive.
Sure.
Good bang for the buck.
Wow.
Germany's known for that.
And we do have 40 seconds remaining here now. 4 on 4. It looks like we'll be ending up towards inside. Oscar trying to show his hand towards outer, maybe get one more pick, force a rotation. Gets it for 1 damage there through the corner of main entrance, but upper is where the T's want to go. Dennis very good at inside, and he's showing us why. Gets the first headshot. That's all he gets, though. Lau with a nice reply. Trying to get the bomb down now on Mousesports. Have to wait for the flames to subside, but they should be absolutely fine to get the plant in.
Ooh, that low HP and the peek from Olaf. Dennis was so committed to the bomb plant, he pulled the bomb out rather than taking the shot. It could have easily been a kill, but they'll stay in it. Oscar's got to watch from upper. He's got to hold this angle for the post plant. We know how powerful it is. No Molotov in play for the terrorist side, but there's a smoke on the CT side, and all three of them have kits as Lowell waits to see if anyone's going to push up Tanker. They've got the angle covered off. They know he's there, and they walk around. Crims is able to take him down as he's distracted. Dennis, though, does make up and get Olaf late. But another 1 versus 1. Oscar, this time with the AWP, gets low on the ramp. Crims, smoke's not picked up. I mentioned there was one, but his teammate had it, not him, and he's going to try and bait out Oscar up close. Ooh. But Oscar's had enough of that with the AWP, and they find another round. We talked about money. Bringing out the AWP, obviously justified.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a force buy for Mousesports. They had the AWP out, a couple of Tech9s as well. Back toward that inside side after finding the initial pick on JW. The inside plant comes in. It's touch and go for sure. Oscar baited out with the fake defuse, but he manages to hit the close range shot. Dennis, normally so good at that silence USP, didn't expect that to come in, and it's going to be 7-3 now. A force buy once again, though, from Fnatic. They got the AWP out themselves, and Chris J, fast toward that side. Perfect flashbang. Should be able to get this frag. Just about gets away from him. Flusher on 20 HP now. He goes down eventually. Rops chimes in now. He's starting to get warmed up, it seems, but Olaf Meister fighting back here on the outside bomb side.
Dennis with a good trade to get the man you mentioned, but watch JW rotating over toward Ivy with the AWP. He can spot down towards Sandwich, so a good smoke, well timed from Mousesports to give them access and mobility. Getting closer to the A site. Dennis has elected actually to go back up the ladder. He's going to try and flank to outer, but JW is just going to wait patiently, and they walk directly into him. Dennis goes down. Oscar's not sure if he wants to pursue this kill or head to the site because Dennis is getting closer and closer to him. I mean, why is he? Oh, minute. You're going to plant there? You know there's an AWP at Ivy? That's a risk, especially if the AWP wants to push through. Smokes it late. He's getting a little bit risky, I have to say. Oscar has no idea as well where Dennis is coming from because he looks towards the connector now. He does know the AK is close. That's a quite audacious play, rather bold. Spotted as well. Dennis on top of the train, expecting him to jump across, and Oscar, that is absolutely incredible. I have to say, risky, but it works.
Absolutely risky, but it does pay off for sure. Oscar there, another great clutch situation, this time a 1v2, and managing to get the open plant down and finding the shots required at Ivy as well. The last one on top of the green trade there, very impressive indeed. That's going to shut down Fnatic and get Mousesports right back in this map. Best of 1 Swiss format here, of course. We have a Mac 10 for Chris J up against these full eco players of Fnatic, so he'll be able to mow them down, get some money farmed up as well. A great chance for Mousesports to potentially tie things up. This will be 7-5, and money still won't be great for Fnatic going forward. Round number 12. JW once again deadly with his P250, it seems. He finds the first shot. Rops does fire back. That was towards Ivy. And Lau, he should secure the round with that frag. Crims is dropped. Same story for... Okay, Rops is finding absolutely everyone.
Yeah. two protagonists have showed up now. What a huge round from Oscar as well with the EWP, because look at the economy for Fnatic. This is going to bring them to 7-5, and they're absolutely in the game now. 5 rounds T-side. We know it's a fairly even distributed map. We know Fnatic as well is rather loose. They're trying to tighten up. How good is their T-side actually going to be?
Yeah, 2 big clutches in a row from Oscar to shut down the money as well. You pointed it out, he's one of the difference makers for this Mousesports team, certainly proving to be so. JW was second frag of the round, not going to be a huge factor though, and we'll have a look at the cash. So Fnatic definitely can buy, not the best on the CT side. Orb comes out, but that's glass cannon, meaning the Orb is there, but it has no armor to work with, no nades either. We've got no kits on the Fnatic side. I think this is one of the rounds maybe they push inside once again towards Ivy, the AWP, and try and find something there. We'll have a look as to where JW decides to head. Going towards outside, only one player in it, so this is a very default setup on the CT side. Nothing too interesting coming in just yet. Dennis alone, but this time only with a couple of flashbangs, and like I said, no head armor, not a big deal against these AK-47s. Rams open things up. Chris J going down, but Rops looking to reply very quickly here as he walks in towards inside.
Ooh, does find the shot on Dennis as well between the 2 pillars of the bomb train. Colossal pillars. We'll call them that, why not? Rops is going to push forward and get JW. Look at the positioning as well, because he's gone toward CT. And it's actually a good time to be there. Flush has got no idea. He's now pincered off the CT's trying to rotate. Both he and his teammate. As Lowell covers off Z connector and the front side, Dennis has pushed in behind as well. That is incredibly smart from Mousesports. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in the post-plant, and they execute a post-plant strategy. We don't often see that. We see angles held, but not something quite so assertive, so I'm impressed. That's the best thing you can do on the T side. If you can find someone in towards CD spawn and stopping those rotations in, a player like Rops as well, just helps himself to the B bomb side. He's looking so confident. A 17-year-old going up against some absolute legends of the game right now, and he's not scared of them at all. He's just showing them he's absolutely going to be outskilling them in many scenarios. He goes in, finds the first kill on Dennis. He didn't expect that to be happening. Then CT spawn as well. Chad mentioned his crosshair placement. You could see how ready he was for that second shot. And I don't Very impressive stuff. I don't know if you caught the lower third at the start of the game. He said, I'd like to beat Fnatic at least once. So obviously he used to look up to this team. Oh, I think everyone did. Yeah, especially, you know, as this kid, Rops, last year was breaking into the scene, gets another kill against probably a player that he idolized, Olaf. This was the team that was unbeatable. This was the team that all of those players would have been looking up to. So it works out Chris J to find Crims. They've got the sight, and although they've got the sight, they don't necessarily get it for free. They do lose Oscar, but it's the AWP picked up for Flusha. No guns, bomb already planted, no kits. AWP is not going to be enough for the retake. Yeah, Rob's looking absolutely deadly here. We called him out when he was on like 0 for 6, and now he's on 12 for 10. Turned his game around, just need to get comfortable. Mousesports adapting to Fnatic, started going a bit quicker, staying as a 5-man unit and completely running over them. They're going to be tying things up here, but Olaf, Meister and Flusha, they've got something to say about that. Rops is finally dropped, but it looks like this round is out of their reach. Mousesports Dennis with the final frag, or I should say almost the final frag, which they picks it up. And there it is, Mousesports, after looking like they were kind of blowing out the water, they were 6-0 down, Matt. They've turned around, 7-7. That's actually remarkable. Yeah, on the T side of train. They were 6-0 down. 6-0 down. Rops was 0-6. Exactly. Remember that. So since he's been getting kills, things have been much better. They've obviously created a lot more space off the back of his kills. Double op setup going to be Fnatic's choice of weaponry. First time they've gone to it. They had the lead early. Sometimes you see it then, but they lost the economy, and then they, you know, you can't fall back on it when the economy breaks that quickly. So it's the first time they pulled it out, and it's round 15. See what they can do with it. Olaf Meister dancing with the flames there. Goes down to 50 HP. A lot of AWPers do tend to try and do that. He had to hit that shot. Yeah. That was the opener they were looking for with the op. Nice run boost. JW spots it though, and Oscar goes back in. No secondary peek. Usually you do that so that you can get a peek from both sides and at least get the trade. So they make up for the fact that Olaf misses one toward B by getting the pick on the second op. They now know there's 2, by the way. They both fired, so they'll likely play the round very differently as a result. Well, now the advantage here for Fnatic. JW gifted that shot towards Ivy. Oscar run boost across. Normally you can run boost and not be spotted at all. Then you go for that peek, but JW spotted it. That's true. He may have expected that he didn't. Exactly. JW, slow peek. Dennis down. So Fnatic may still win the half, but after a 6-0 start, I don't really think it's a moral victory. Yeah, especially those big clutches coming in as well. Difficult to recover from those.
Here we go, 5-on-3, surely around for Fnatic here, as you said, to win the half. 40 seconds remaining, inside play. Chris J, the former of the squad, can't get anything going just yet. Rops goes down towards the upper platform. Chris flashed out of position. It looks like this round may be done, as we've got 30 seconds remaining, and a lot of pressure being applied by the sweep. Ooh. Chris J with the no-scope, gets one, but Olaf Meister in return finds Lau.
It's the record for no-scopes in one game, because Oscar's got about 3. Oh, Crims, up close! He thought it was going to be easier than that. Chris turned around and Crims was there. He thought he was going to get a backstab, but it does still go Fnatic's way. Bit of a risk, no need for that. Money's not really a factor going into the next half.
It's not.
Fair enough.
But it was a guaranteed round, I guess, and you're just trying to kind of cheer everyone up. You lost a couple of clutches.
We talked about a moral victory.
Yeah, exactly. It's like scoring a goal in football just before halftime, right? You get a knife before halftime in Counter-Strike, maybe just upset them a little bit, you know? Kind of something going on there.
I almost actually think that's more like scoring an empty netter in hockey and then doing a massive celebration.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Rub that one in, boys.
Well, we'll get into the second half here. We'll have a look at the frag charts while we're waiting for the half to begin. Top of the scoreboard, of course, for Fnatic, JW. What a half he had. So many good rounds. There's the 8 chief frags coming from Flusher as well. That was quite interesting to follow. Oscar, amazing performance there from Mousesports in terms of the clutch potential he had as well. So aware, so assertive.
The opening match of one of the most prestigious events we do every year, ESL One Cologne 2017. I've confused my years before, so we'll make sure to get that in.
Yeah.
Someone's already won Oakland for this year. Like NIP won 2017. Maybe we'll play 2016 this year.
We can fix that in post-production.
It's true, absolutely, they will. But it's Mousesports taking on Fnatic. It was a 6-0 start for Fnatic. They certainly seemed better out of the gate. Rops, we mentioned it was very slow, but they've turned it around. They've brought it within 1. Fnatic, it took them quite a few rounds. It took them till round 15 to make sure they won the half.
Well, here we go, the pistol underway. Smokes towards outside as well. This will be a fast commitment from Fnatic here. Smokes on the bomb drain, Molotov's a connector as well. The CTs are unaware. They've pushed towards Ivy. So they're still in a decent position when they fall back, but Flusher is waiting for them, and he hears the footsteps as well.
Flusher goes to the corner at Hell. He's actually going to get aggressive and peek out. They've gotten so fast inside of the front of the site with a gamble play, I have to say, with the pistols on the CT side to play Ivy. That's almost a retake of just essential territory. Bomb was planted before they were even organized to do a full retake, and Crims has gotten in toward Ivy, rotating back around to cut them off because he read the play. It's a 2 versus 2. Rops gonna try and find an opening pick, but can't quite do so. It's Olaf that's the last alive as Oscar gets Crims instead, but bomb planted. Kit in play. Oh, he's got to get in front of him. He's got to take down Olaf early. If he wins the duel, there's still a Kit down beside the bomb, but bomb is gone, and Rops might get the kill. It's too late.
Indeed it is. A nice assertive round there from Fnatic. Smokes towards the left-hand side of the bomb tray. A couple of Molotovs deployed as well. Problem is, Mousesports are trying to find the initial frag themselves. Pushing 3 players towards Ivy. That's a heavy commitment, but the idea is if you find no one there, you can give a decent call. There's probably going to be an inside play. They didn't find anyone, but Fnatic already outside and get mowed down as they came out the Ivy. Came down to the 1v1, but Olaf Meister, such a strong position there. Bomb was always going to go off at that point. Rops just gets the kill, but doesn't get much more than that. So Fnatic continue with their lead, 9-7. Pretty much full investment here from Mousesports. Scouts upgraded pistols, some armor as well. Oscar, of course, the all-player doesn't go all in. Dennis, though, he finds that first frag against the unarmored player, so that was to be expected. 5-4. Difficult round for the CT. I'm not a fan of this on train, but we'll see whether they can do anything with the scout. Chris J, like we said, at one point the best player with this weapon, but no inside presence whatsoever from the CTs. This is round done. I think you just save the armor and pistols at this point, unless he starts hitting shots like that. He actually hit Dennis down to 1 HP.
Yeah. Something to work with. Fnatic, though, with another bomb plant. Both pistols going their way. Yeah, Dennis is going to go save. Yep. Armor, nades, a few bot pistols, and Chris J on the scoot.
Yeah.
We don't actually say that, by the way.
I know you stand by that.
It's that's like the... I don't understand that stereotype. We drag our vowels, but it's not that exaggerated at all. Well, that's only, like, maritime at best.
Yeah, I've only known that from films, so you just assume that's what actually happens.
Yeah,
I've never heard you say that, to be fair.
We say A quite a bit.
Yeah.
Fair enough. A lot of people do. Sorry, that's the most... That one I'll live with. We do say sorry a lot. It's instead of like, excuse me, we just... Oh, sorry. Sorry. That one I'll go with. But the scoot oot thing, come on, guys.
Well...
What's that all about?
Mousesports, it might look a little bit strange saving the pistols there, but that was quite a heavy investment. If they lose those pistols and armor, they have nothing to go into this round. You might as well save it, see what you can do, have a second bite of the cherry, and we'll see whether Chris J with the scout will be able to cause any further damage here. 10-7 Fnatic, though, after winning both pistols, getting the 3-0 on either side. Presumably, not quite yet, obviously with their saved weaponry. Mousesports can cause a bit of a dent here on the CT side. Scout, for now, will be positioned towards the back of old bomb. And we do have, of course, Dennis pushing out a main entrance. Smoke down. See if he can get this first frag. That's the objective for him right now.
Dennis does get Dennis back. Again, Mouse Dennis being the one on top that time. It's Grims that pulls the shot and situation back into control, but look at Lowell step up. 2 kills on the pistol. You said they could do damage. They might be able to steal the round. Bomb down beside the train. Lowell is tagged to 24. JW slipping in, getting Oscar, should be able to find him as well, but he's a little bit hesitant to go around the corner, knowing that Chris J likely out toward Old Bomb. So he smokes him off. Good call, good awareness, good read in the low HP. AK-47. Headshot onto Lowell makes this now almost unwinnable for Chris J. The exception being that the bomb plant has not come in. They've just gathered the bomb now, and that smoke's due to dissolve at any time. But a scout to push through? Not likely. Crims holds it.
Yeah, fake plant, face them together. That's really nice from Fnatic. It looks like a bit problematic, I have to say. Lau with the PT50 headshots. Fnatic going into that position 1 by 1. Well recovered, though. JW, nice use of the smoke to guarantee him an opportunity to find the first frag. There's the replay from Lau. Very good job by him, but not quite enough to win the round. So there it is. Mousesports now 7 rounds on the board with a full gun round here. They are lacking a little bit. You can see Oscar without utility, but he has got the AWP and body armor, so that's fine as we go into round number 19.
Olaf does get across at Ivy. Dennis is going to smoke it, spots the backside. The closest player, Olaf, and then backs it, so he's not willing to stick around. Elects to throw a flash out instead, gives them the ground at Ivy, so the setup has to be adjusted in A. They have to pull someone back toward Hitch, and the player out of the E-box has to be more aware of the fact that his backside shows, so he hugs the train as Dennis gets a decent trade back off of Chris's death. And Lowell is now alone essentially inside of A as they rotate back around to try and gather another crossfire for him. Meanwhile, Brownhall's Flusha pushing in toward B. Bomb still out toward Ivy. If he can get the kill at B and lurk toward Z connector or even pull them off of it, it's an attainable situation toward A, but Bomb is heading this direction. They think they've got more than they perhaps bargain for inside of this site as Dennis takes down Rops. That should confirm a full rotation, but watch the ladder push. Right now, Lowell's actually below it. He's going to hear the bomb silently climb up. If he actually catches the bomb working down the stairs, this is going to be the kill that determines the round, but he misses the chance. Bomb goes in. JW on the op now has a set shot. And he still has to contend with the fact that Lowell is somewhere lurking behind. He's elected to rotate back through Z connector rather than go for the backstab, but JW's unsure of it and has to look elsewhere as Dennis goes down. Now's Dennis getting the kill on him.
Yeah, this is looking impossible now for JW. Very good work by Mousesports. Dennis, 3 kills in an inside area. Dodging and weaving the Molotovs deployed. Getting himself some big frags. JW now 13 seconds. No chance he really gets his bomb down here. CT can sacrifice himself to deny the plant, and at this point, 5 seconds, CT will just start pushing in. If he doesn't get the frag here, there it is. Lau finds it. It's going to be 11-8. First gun round going in favour of the Mousesports. It was definitely required considering the financial situation. Double orb setup as well. We'll see, presumably, Chris J and Oscar. Quite a deadly duo. Chris J, of course, used to be the former AWP of this team when Nico was in there. And Oscar brought back in. He's gone for that more aggressive, and like we saw in the first half, clutch play style, combat AWPing, if you will.
Interestingly enough, Chris J used to AWP in this team even when Alu was in it.
That's right,
Way back with Gob B.
Yeah.
Alu actually took a rifle role. So they've all kind of had different roles in this lineup over iterations. But yeah, Chris J to the rifles instead. I actually agree with it. I think Oscar's been much more beneficial and more aggressive than Chris normally was.
Sure.
Chris was aggressive on Mirage in A Apartments, in Palace. Other than that, he's usually quite passive.
Well, AK, as you can see how Fnatic were affected, losing those frags in the earlier force buys from Mousesports, winning the rounds, but losing manpower. This will be the full inside execution. Fnatic kind of criticised for not having a huge amount of strategies traditionally. They are trying to rectify that. We'll see whether this works out for them. Oscar, though, he's ready with that first shot. Takes an all-off my towards the upper ramp, and this looks like it's been stifled. How can they get into this? Lost the first pick. Utility expended as well. Now they're being locked out by the incendiaries of the CTs.
Oscar on the train. Rops baited in. 2 kills for him as Oscar goes down. He plays the bait, but that's fine because Rops takes JW as well from a tight position, a tight angle. Oscar gets him back, but he's sitting in the open. Dennis will fire down the lane to kill him, collect it, and make it yet another round for Mousesports. So they pull it back, first gun. And Fnatic is broken as a result of it. They'll sit with a double up setup, but it's going to be pistols. Full save, I think, on the Fnatic side without the bomb plant.
Robs is just playing like an absolute monster here, Matt. That's great from him. Playing that Spools position, getting 3 frags like that, they don't check it whatsoever. His teammates finding enough aggro for him to actually have a position where he can get multiple spray down. It was Oscar with the first shot towards upper ramp as well. Fnatic just didn't consider the Spools position whatsoever. So yes, absolutely eco here. 11-9, almost certainly going to be double digits here. Dennis gifted the first frag towards Ivy. Good nade as well. Going to get the second quite easily. A little bit scrappy, but Chris J there to bail him out.
Oh, good shot.
Hello.
We get some leg. Hopefully that's just on our end. I would say this round, if something were to happen, just needs to be awarded to Mousesports. 5 versus 1 at this point. Crims has armor and a deagle. Maybe he gets a kill or 2, but it will be 11-10. Should be 11-10. How are you today, Henry?
I'm doing good. Back in Cologne.
No, that shows and confirms that it's on their end as well.
Sure. Yeah, 3rd time in Cologne, Matt. This is where it all began for me in terms of big stadium events, so it's cool to actually see
Many people don't think of this, because as a duo, we've never casted a major final, but you casted your first ever major final in your first ever major.
My first ever major at Cologne, and I actually ended up casting the final. Definitely wasn't comfortable, but did enjoy myself. It was an experience I'll never forget for sure. But yeah, Cologne's very special for me. It's where I first met Moses as well, you know, so it's all very exciting.
Well, exciting indeed. I thought this event last year had one of the better atmospheres throughout the season. We had some good ones for the atmospheres last year. Brazil was controversial in the fact that the fans were rather edgy, but
rowdy.
I think that's a good word. I liked it. I actually was kind of as a rivalry fan in hockey. I've been around fans
well.
like
that. They can get a bit rowdy, you know.
Yeah,
like,
they're definitely rowdy.
Actually, do you remember like VP versus Fnatic? Like back in, I think it was 2015, maybe 2016.
The VP section?
Exactly, right? And like they were just booing the hell out of Fnatic, and like Taz had to come out and say, yeah, you know what, guys, like let's make sure we respect these guys as well. VP seem to be hometown favourites here. We do have a couple of I guess one German prospect. I guess Dennis is the only one for Mousesports, I think, at this point. We do have a German show match, I think, eventually, but you know, it's going to be Dennis trying to fly the German flag.
Yeah, I think this event would be up there. I think obviously Katowice is always a decent crowd, depending obviously on how Virtus.pro does. That can dictate if they're explosive or if they're, you know, passionate, how the level of which they get involved. But But yeah, no, this is an event that's consistent every single year, and it's exciting. We actually have a good string of events coming up. This, the Major, and then we have then we have Malmo. So it's
lots of
big
cool
stadiums.
events.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, with that said, I think we'll take a short break. They're going to solve the issues inside the MMC Arena. It is 11-9 pending. It should be, I think, in my opinion, with a 5 versus 1, 11-10. But we'll see what they decide. We'll be back in a minute.
We are indeed. Round number 22 coming in momentarily. Fnatic do have the lead for now, 11-10. They do have a full buy here from what I can see. 4 AK-47s, now 5. No AWP for them. Double AWP set up on the Mousesports side. That's going to be Oscar and Chris J, like we said. Quite a formidable duo, I have to say. Chris J obviously was the main AWPer at one point for Mousesports. Let's get into it, shall we? We'll have a default play from Fnatic. 3 players actually towards Ivy, and Dennis waiting behind the server as well, using that smoke to his advantage. He's going to have a tough time here up against it. He'll be pre-firing this for sure, maybe even boosting over. I think he's done for. This looks very problematic.
Smoke goes down. Dennis will back off to hold the reverse side of it. Flash through, and Dennis is already backing off. Smoke only has a finite amount of time, and he doesn't want to be caught out because of it, so safely gets inside of the alleyway again. Molotov off, more delay, 1:08. And he's used quite a bit, but it brings Chris J in. He throws the Molotov that bounces off the wall. They know he's left side. It brings Chris J in from the right. Catches them off. Lowell gets Dennis as well. So guns up, and it's Mousesports that still seem to be in control.
Yeah, I'm liking this a lot from Mousesports. Chris J applying the pressure left, right, and center with that AWP. Finds his second frag of the round as well. 4-2 now. JW and Flusher certainly capable of putting this round back in their favor, but the odds are stacked against them. JW makes his way towards Olofmeister, and we'll see whether he can do anything with this position. 30 seconds remaining now. There's the first frag. Now they have a chance. Picks up the AWP as well, his favored weapon.
2-on-3 and JW. He's been active. He's been mobile. He's going to try and open up more for Flush. At this point, he's holding an angle just to make sure that Flush is not going to get caught off guard by anyone that wraps around Bomb Train or from the alley position. And Flusha gets himself where he wanted to go, toward the hitch to check the angle, but can't find the kill onto Rops. He will go down to JW, who has bomb, but time is gone. 1 second. And it's 11-11. Mousesports back into it. JW has to save the AWP. He will. He's gone far enough away. But it still brings into question the money for Fnatic, and Mousesports are starting to actually take quite a commanding control of the situation.
Yeah, looking great here. I have to say on Train, this has been a good performance from them. After going 6-0 down as well, they've lost both pistols so far. This is a great comeback. They're looking like the better team overall, and a forced buy, I think it's a partial buy, okay. So they get maximum loss bonus next round, so trying to back up the AWP with 4 Tech 9s, armor as well, a few smokes to work with here. Obviously the pressure falling on JW's shoulders, try and get opening picks here. Go towards inside of the start, dodges the flashbang, picks towards lower ramp, but Oscar very fast, manages to get the initial headshot as well, shuts down the orb. Flusher will recover it, but nice opening pick there. That was a key duel. JW even expecting that flash, turns away from it. Oscar beats him to the punch.
Dennis is backing off. They have to. AWP from Flusha. Can't find an opening. It's on Flusha, not JW, obviously having gone down. He's the one to pick it up and work with it. Bomb for Crims. Ops is on top of the train on entry. Has a great angle on the M4, and it's protected angle in the fact that he's also got Oscar on one of the 2 AWPs on the CT side watching the upper entry position. This will be a fast B hit to try and get a plant down. Setup is actually quite endearing for Mousesports. If they get a plant, it's only because Rops was unable to get multiple kills. He's already found 1. It's going to be Flush up. Goes down. Dennis does get Rops immediately after, but Oscar's got Dennis back. The fact that they get Rops, though, does mean a plant may be possible. And Crims picking up the AWP, finds a shot down the lane, but 29 seconds. He's still not sure where to go. He's going to hold up, see if he can catch anyone off. Crims immediately gets Dennis as well. This becomes interesting now, and the fact that it's 3 ops in play, it's definitely workable for Crims, who goes back toward the other site, but Chris is waiting for it, smartly positioned so that ladder was covered off.
Indeed, Mousesports take the lead though, after getting A 3-0 against him in the second half, 5 rounds in a row. Maximum loss bonus for Fnatic, no bomb going down. And JW, who didn't get any previous money after saving the AWP on the T side, he's at about 4k, so I don't think the AWP's possibility here for Fnatic whatsoever. Mousesports now a great chance with the double AWP setup they have to really start running away with this game. They've got the advantage for sure. They've got full buys, 3 M4s, and all the utility they need as well. Going to run number 24 here. Mousesports with the lead. Inside control coming in from Fnatic. There's going to be flush from Crims. Just pushing back Oscar at the brown horse position. He can't find the initial frag. Has to fall back here. He has been quite deadly, I have to say, in the last few rounds. Robs, though, maybe even deadlier. Such a strong player. 19 frags for him so far. He'll be anchoring toward that B site. We do have Olofmeister holding towards Ivy. He's with Dennis as well. They do the run boost successfully. I don't think anyone was there to actually spot them, though. It's actually quite a tentative hold from the CT, focusing on main entrance. They could be pushing in here.
That's quite an awkward exchange with the flash down. Lowell gets blinded up on the way through as well, but gets JW.
It's good, though, from Mousesports. Getting some map control back. Very quiet round so far. Flash in. Definitely wasn't the prettiest of frags, but they get it. 5 on 4, and it's going to funnel Fnatic towards Ivy here. And that's the weaker part of the map for Mousesports. Oscar on the backtracks watching the right-hand side. Dennis sort of watching the left, but just trying to cover his teammates for now.
Oscar's still waiting. Chris J better position on his AWP. They set a perfect crossfire, and Fnatic walks into it. Oscar's going to try and continue to watch the same angle, so they cannot wrap towards CT. Crims is locked off. Blusha has to create an opening for him. It's still doable in the fact that if they get Chris J, which he had a chance to do, and does, he creates space walking in from Ivy, but Lowell gets the trade immediately, as he was intended to do so from A main, and Rops is able to get Crims. We go 13 rounds now for Mousesports. Lost round bonus at maximum effect for Fnatic, but no bomb plant.
Yeah, they can keep partial buying here. It's like every other round you can bring a full buy in, so you have about 4k per player, a little bit less than that overall. So what's the options here? Take a pause for sure. Let's work it out. So you're up against a double orb setup right now. I would say do a partial buy with the Tech 9s. Get armor as well, 5 smokes, and the best way to lock out those orbs, of course, the smoke grenades. Go for the wall of smokes, push through those smokes, get a bomb down, get that snowball effect going in your favor. I think that's the best call here. If you force buy into it, just AKs and little utility, I think you'll get eaten apart by the double orb setup. And Mousesports looking great, changing their setup up. Not hyper aggressive, not like pushing Ivy or inside ramp, but they're waiting for everything to subside. The default to come in for Fnatic, flashing towards main entrance, find that first pick, and looking like it's going very well for them indeed. Oscar there, I'm not finding anything at the upper ramp at the very start of the round, went towards CT spawn, watches the backtracks like we said. That's where Fnatic chose to go as well, and that double orb setup looking very good, I have to say.
Well, we get a tactical timeout, which brings in some nice rock music.
Yeah, you like to see that.
Like to hear that.
Yeah.
Don't really see it.
I like to see the tactical timeout.
Oh yes, absolutely. That I'll agree with Hank. I'm with you.
So like we said, partial buy, they could have definitely forced about 4k per player. I prefer to see this. Use some smokes, try and get the execution going. Bomb plant down. That's the best way to counter, which is not... Okay, I thought they still had the double orb set up. It looks like they lost Chris J's orb in the process. So they didn't actually manage to recover that. So we'll see whether they can do anything here. Round number 25, Mousesports looking for 14. But Fnatic, historically, so good at these pistols.
Back off with them. They used to be known as Technatic, Fnatic 9.
Technatic?
Technatic.
Yeah, I haven't heard that before.
Do you remember when they had someone switched the logo to be the Tech 9?
No.
Incorporated into the Fnatic logo? It was about a year ago.
Yeah.
So smoke execution with the Tech 9s to try and get a fast plant on the outer site.
Yeah,
passive positions as well for Mousesports means the smokes could actually lead to a plant, but beyond that, without weapons, is where the real challenge comes in. Smokes go all the way down. Have they missed one toward the inside of the E-box? I think they have. Lowell's positioned therefore. If he waits for this, he's going to play the gap on the inside. He actually could have swung out and caught them all going to the train. Elects not to. Drops down. He's actually given them more room than perhaps they were worth in this sense, so they do get a bomb plant out of it because there was no smoke pitch side. Thankfully, no one watching it, and they've got the situation controlled as Flusha, the last alive, is going to be taken down eventually. Rock should be able to do it. Does. Bomb to be defused, but at least a bomb plant for Fnatic. That was the intended goal.
Yeah, like we said, that makes a lot of sense when you've got the Tech 9s, get the smokes out. Wasn't the best execution for sure, as you pointed out, but they get the bomb down, and that means they get a really healthy buy going into round number 26. Mousesports, so touching distance. This Swiss former, best of one. Get the 3-0 and you're out of the group, but Fnatic now up against it. What's their play here? Only winning so far the pistol And the subsequent rounds after that. He got the 3-0, sure, but yet to post a gun round here. Been a very CT-sided affair. 7 rounds in a row now. One more for match point. Smokes towards outside once again from Dennis and co. Just to buy some map control, bait out some CT grenades. Double orb setup rolling once again from Mousesports, of course. Oscar and Chris J. Up towards inside of the upper ramp, and actually once again Oscar with that combat orb towards the lower ramp, trying to open things up. Might get a chance here. A weak flush up, encroaching on his position. But for now, another default. JW and Olofmeister this time working towards Ivy. They have got the AWP out once again, so JW very slowly but surely will be trying to get the first pick. Run boost coming in. The idea is to allow Olofmeister to get across undetected. Maybe take the aggro away on the right-hand side and then JW give it the pick. Oh, did it work? No, it definitely did not.
Didn't spot whether or not Dennis was peeking when it failed, because he would have been able to see that and knew what they were up to. They bring the op down anyway. They can still set a crossfire. Each side is watched. So no element of surprise in that sense, or no bait and switch to be available. As Dennis with a Molotov gets ready to execute from inside of A main, but look at this push from Mouse. They've already cleared Brown Halls. They've already cleared B. They're pushing up. Rops is above them. They've got Oscar to watch down the lane. He's already gone back to the ladder. So not only have they now pushed them completely back toward the A site, there's no access to B. They've got a setup to set up a crossfire inside of the site when they arrive, and Oscar and Chris J go to work. Straightforward. Down goes Olaf as well. This is so good for Mousesports. That is very, very good, I have to say, on the CT side. I'm impressed.
Looking much better here, Mousesports on the CT side. This is great. Going 6-0 down in the first half before Fnatic, they're turning up. They've shut down Mousesports. The big names aren't arriving, but that was not the case at all. Mousesports, once they get into the zone, they're looking fantastic right now. Great reads, calculated risks coming in as well after getting that first pick. Like I said, completely overall in the inside area. Fnatic, a complete oversight. Didn't watch that at all. We had to play towards T-steps above Pop Dog. Mousesports finding all the orb shots here, and it has to be a force by now for Fnatic. Sure, maximum loss bonus, but
apparently it was Fnatic. Sorry, I got it wrong.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I like yours as well. It's a good try.
Thanks. At least I'm original.
Khalil's UMPs, couple of A gears to work with, little utility. Flush and Dennis with no nades whatsoever. This is match point in Mousesports. Trying to win the first game here, but Prims, he's got other ideas. He's going to find the first frag.
Chris J, smoked off, has company. Oh, reacts accordingly. Takes down Olaf. As Lowell gets Flusha, it's all to Crims and Rops. Well, you may have gotten your wish. You may have just beaten Fnatic once, at least, in your words. Crims might have other ideas, though. He's got 2 good shots, I have to say, with a Galil. Far range, takes down Oscar and Lowell, brings it to a 1 versus 2. Bomb down inside of the site becomes the issue for him, but he's got a minute to work with in trying to regain that. And look at the doubled up position. Very good for Mousesports. They're going to play this together, and together they shall succeed. Chris J gets the kill. They go up into the 1-0 bracket, and Fnatic will fall into 0 and 1. Swiss system, remember. So still a chance to fight through.
Yeah, turmoil continues for Fnatic. They're definitely not looking themselves at the moment. Winning both pistols there, Matt, as well. Converting one of which to 6-0, 1 and 3-0 as well. So it's not good enough on the second half. They look so cagey. Didn't really have a game plan from what I could see. Lots of defaults, not getting the picks they needed. They need to fall back to that strategy. We've been told they've been working on that. Hasn't really been convincing me so far. The set pieces they had with the Tech 9s, missing smokes, and overall, that was actually a very calculated and convincing performance from Mousesports, especially from Rops.
Well done to Mouse. We're going to take a short break. Fnatic fall down. We'll be back with the desk.
infinite power.
There it goes, game 1 of ESL One Cologne, powered by Intel. We've gone and done it, we've got our first game under our belt, and so have Mousesports as they pick up the win. Our analysts, of course, I'm joined by Chad Birchall and Jenko Paunovic, did give Mousesports some degree of an edge, albeit minimal. And in that second half, it did feel like perhaps it could have been exacerbated. Things did get exaggerated as well. We got to see Mousesports starting to run away with it. 16-11, the final result there. Gentlemen, where do we start? Mousesports knocking Fnatic on their bottom.
Yeah, Alex, I got a new shirt. Unfortunately, Fnatic didn't show us a new face. It's similar to what we saw at ECS finals. Pretty underwhelming, as the guys pointed out, casting 6-0 start in one half, 3-0 start in the other, and can't win the game. That's almost unheard of, especially for a team like Fnatic, who we always tend to say if they start off strong, they can run away with the game. That means that they're pretty much on point. But Mouse, again, shown how they evolved as a team, shown resilience, and showed that they're capable of coming back into a game, even on the more difficult side.
Now, Chad, you pointed credit towards LMBT, suggesting we should give him more praise, perhaps, and they call a timeout. Suddenly, Mousesports are back in the game. Probably some fingers to be pointed.
That was on Oscar, you know, winning those two back-to-back clutches. So that's kind of what got them back in the game, and then they did lose that eco, where I think JW got 4 frags, right? So that was a bit of a blunder. They definitely started slow. That we already touched on that. But the fact that they got into the game and then closed it out in this kind of fashion it's great to see. I think, you know, Oscar, we always talk about him being one of the stars. These are the kind of performances you need from your players. They need to be able to stand up and do this when times are tough, and he definitely did it.
He certainly did. Just making sure I can hear you. It's
I can yell.
Increasingly difficult.
Another thing is, obviously, the coach has a lot of impact, but something that actually Chris J told us in his interviews post-game in Bucharest was, I asked him how difficult it is for you as an in-game leader. Do you think you still have much? He says, my team helped me so much. It's like incredible. I call something at the start, but then everyone gives me so much input and information, and everyone has good ideas that it's really like a team effort more so than me like being the leader and telling everyone what to do. And although Fnatic did fall, I feel like it would be foolish not to touch on them in a positive light at all, because that start was strong, right? And you outlined beforehand, we talked about, in fact, it was actually Jenko, that JW makes space. And we saw prime examples of that, right? I mean, he was like top of the scoreboard, double digits, and Fnatic was 6-0 up.
Yeah, when you see JW fragging, you're expecting Fnatic to be winning, right? Because he's normally the recent times anyway has been down the bottom of the scoreboard. He hasn't been able to put up consistent performances, and here he came out guns blazing. He was doing exactly that, making space, making a lot of frags, having a lot of impact. It just wasn't enough. Another one to note for me was Dennis. He was making some big boy plays, right? He had his big boy pants on, pushing inside, getting a lot of flanks early, and it looked like they had full control of the match. But as soon as those 2 clutches came in, it started to spiral back in the favor of Old Mates Mouse, and they closed strong.
It is cool to see a team now, like you touched on already, that is a full unit, a full team. Perhaps sometimes we find ourselves on analyst desk in particular talking about this player has, is the win condition. These 2 players are the win condition. We struggle to really do that with Mouse because we find ourselves lifting all of them. Chris J has some good tools in his arsenal.
Absolutely. I mean, Robs had impact in this game as well. I think the first gun round they won, or the second one, was Lowell and Dennis getting all of the kills. Lowell getting a very important triple kill, even with the Galil, I think it was. So every player on the team has their rounds. I think still in this game, probably Oscar was the most impactful, simply because those 2 rounds that he clutched, if he loses either of them, Mousesports kind of get reset there, and Fnatic reestablishes control of the economy, probably ends with at least like 10 rounds in the first half.
Yeah, you have to talk about how poor their gun rounds were though, right? Because they did have a 6-in-a-row lead, but that's the back of getting pistol and then, forcing them onto eco and then another gun round. So early on they were doing fine, and then they won the second half pistol as well. So 9 of their rounds are already made up from there. They just really struggled in the gun rounds.
And Mousesports managed to close that one out. There's not too much more to be said because we'll see so much more of them as our days do continue here, but our next game should promise to be equally, if not more, exciting. Yes, indeed, a team that is immortalized in Counter-Strike, none other than Virtus Pro, are going to be taken to the stage now to take on the Immortals, hailing from Brazil. Join us after the break here as ESL One Cologne does continue.
The Pay Safeguard post-match breakdown.